Am I upset about that loss? Maybe. Spoilers, by the way, I lost. But I think Austin played really well. I think I played terribly. Let's have a look at the build. Let's have a look at his team. His team, very slow team. He brought. This is a playoffs match, so I know what he brought last time. He brought Scar Thunderous. He brought Donphan, Arcanine, I believe. I can actually just check. Week 6. Yeah, he brought Heracross. He brought Delissapod last time. Scar Thunderous. Both of his evolutions and Donphan. So I thought this time I'd try to punish the Delissapod and punish the two evolutions, because he seemed to not really use Reunitless much, despite the fact it's honestly super scary for my team. So I decided, obviously I should bring Heal Block Tricked Magician Klefki. So the point of the set is pretty obvious. I'd bluff that I was Prankster, get Umbreon in, switcheroo a Choice Band, and then because he realizes, oh, I'm not Prankster, he'd be able to play aggressively afterwards. But just being able to shut down Umbreon and Vaporeon by Heal Block would have been very useful to allow stuff like Hydreigon later on, because something like Mew, something like Cinderace, something like Zapdos, they're all there to get chip. Metagross is there to just kill something. It's very prediction reliant, but I thought it could do a lot of work. Outsped it, so it outsped Mega Heracross if it was Adamant, which I'm pretty sure he wasn't going to bring Jolly, because, I mean, look at that attack. If you're telling yourself to bring Jolly, you're just doing yourself no favors. So I had Banded, very prediction reliant, and then I had, for like late game, I had Chopal Hydreigon, because I thought if he had Scarf Thunderous, he'd probably bring Focus Blast, and Chopal let me live a Focus Blast from it, as is the same thing with Reunitless. I believe same thing with CC from this, but not from Heracross, because that thing just hits way too hard. But anyway, yeah, that was my main plan. Cripple the evolutions, get kills early with Metagross, just chip stuff down as we got later in the game, get Cinderace in, Cinderace 2 at KO, Delissapod with Electro Ball. It outsped Unburdened Slurpuff by 1 point and could kill it back with Dunk Shot. Zapdos outsped, I believe, it was neutral nature max speed Arcanine, which I thought would be a good tier to get just so I can get some chip on that early, because I thought Arcanine could be an issue. It is an issue in the game, but for an entirely different reason I suspected. I thought he would try to, once he realized I didn't have any ground move, try to bring it in on Metagross and just Will-O-Wisp, which could have been an issue, especially if he decided to instead go for another move and hit Cinderace, which I really didn't want Cinderace getting hit much because of the fact it's Scarf, it's not Boots, it gets chipped down super easily. Same reason I brought Pyro Ball instead of Flareblitz. And overall, the rest of the team pretty normal. 3 attacks. I had to think about Heat Wave for a while, but I thought he probably wouldn't bring Ferroseed, and so I decided against it. Also, I have Flamethrower on Mew, I have Flamethrower on this. I thought I was fine for Ferroseed and an actual Fire type. Yeah. Banded, Scarf, just Scarf stuff, Chopal, just boring Rock Setter, and then this set, which sadly does not get to see the light of day, because as we go to the replay, spoilers, but he does not have Umbreon, which made me really sad when I got in. So I was just thinking, oh man, I can't do it. This magician is now completely useless. I mean, it wasn't useless, it could still stop Vaporeon from wishing, I could still trick a bad on something like Donphan. But just the fact that I wasn't able to actually use Prankster because I took Magician for Umbreon was kind of rough. Albeit I didn't actually come into effect, but I felt pretty bad about it. So turn 1, I lead Metagross because I expect a Thunderous lead. I clicked Ice Punch, which I probably shouldn't have clicked. I should have realized, because I thought he is Scarf. I should have realized he'd probably U-turn turn 1, because, why stay in when I could easily just kill him back? So I probably should have went for Thunder Punch here, because thinking about it, his best switch was either Donphan or Vaporeon. And hitting Thunder Punch, if Donphan came in, I could get Mew in just to get rocks up, or I could get Klefki in and Switcheroo. But I clicked Ice Punch just because, I just didn't really think about what he would actually do. And I do 15%, I count it, this is max defense, max HP, Vaporeon. So I switch out into Klefki. He's definitely thinking I'm Switcheroo. Now what I should have done there, because I sort of bluffed it, I probably should have went either Metagross or Zapdos. Because if I'm Switcheroo, which he thinks I am, then he's switching to Mega Heracross. There's nothing else he'd switch to there. So my best bet would have been to get in one of my Mons, probably Metagross, that can kill this. And then I would be fine clicking Aerial Ace, because even against Thundurus, it does a lot. Well, not a lot, but it still does decent damage. But I just clicked Switcheroo here, because I just didn't really think it through. It's sort of a trend in this battle, actually. Then I have to hard switch in Zapdos, and here is something surprising. I did not anticipate sub Mega Heracross, which is a huge issue, because of the fact that, I didn't invest much bulk into this. You saw it's just max HP. A lot of my team can't actually take hits from this. I was expecting the flow of a game to be this comes in, kills something, and then, I switch out. So from here, I know I have to break it sub. I know he's gone a Rock Blast, but I have to break for sub. And, Rock Blast just destroys me. So with that, I send in Metagross as Aerial Ace. Then I just click Zen Headbutt because it's an equally good move. It still does hit Heracross, but it also does more damage to something like Donphan, to Thundurus. Realistically, there's nothing stopping me from every single turn just clicking Zen Headbutt on this. Because I don't really need the super effective damage on a lot of his stuff. Anyway, that being said, he sends Donphan in, expecting, Zen Headbutt. I go Hydreigon on the Donphan, he goes Vaporeon. I get the nasty plot here, because I basically have free turn, which he sends in a Amoonguss. I counted it, I saw that Amoonguss died, so I just killed it with Draco, and he sends in Arcanine. Now, I should have known that this got play rough, but I forgot. So instead of going to Klefki, which I probably should have done, I just don't switch, and he just gets Hydreigon, which is a huge misplay by me. I definitely should have checked its move list. Cinderace or Klefki there. Probably Cinderace was a smarter play, because I could send Cinderace in, it wouldn't take much, I'd be able to scout his item, see its Life Orb, then I'd be able to Scarf U-turn out onto what would likely be a Donphan, and then be able to get Metagross back in, click Zen Headbutt, get more damage. But I just sacked Hydreigon for free, which is, another sort of I didn't think things through kind of play there. So I send in Mew, just want to get rocks up, so I get them up. This is, I believe, Spadef Mew. Yeah, I don't take too much from Dark Pulse. I get to Ice Beam, Ice Click it again, even though Vaporeon's probably coming in, because I didn't really want to... Oh no, I click Roost even. Because it's probably better if I tried to predict that and go Klefki, but Roost is just an equally valid play. But I don't actually have anything to hit this, so I just go for another Ice Beam to see if he's gonna possibly switch out. I just keep on clicking Ice Beam, just trying to not let Thundurus in. Because Thundurus can do a huge amount of work to the team. I have Flamethrower on Mew. I thought he might sub again. He just goes straight for Pin Missile, just kills it. I could have switched in one of my 2 Bug Resist, 4 times Bug Resist. But, there's still that equal chance he could have clicked Rock Blast, he could probably be EQ in the last slot. There's a lot of issues I could have had there. And if he was EQ in the last slot and he clicked it, he just OHKO'd everything else. So I just wanted to get Chip on it just to make sure it couldn't sub, because I didn't want to have to predict something and lose something else. Because I felt I had rocks up, so Mew probably wouldn't do much more in the game. So then I send Medros in again, I just click Zen Headbutt. It does some big damage. You know, I should be clicking this every turn, that's why. Then I click it again, Vaporeon's down. Klefki is now just entirely useless. He brings Arcanine in. I didn't count whether or not I could live Life Orb Flamethrower. I'm pretty sure I couldn't, because I was banded, not AV. So I just go Cinderace just to take it. It does 48%. And I have to remind you, I have some HP. Sure, I only have 8. But you know, Cinderace is not that frail. It did a lot of damage. I think it was max special attack, he said. So he brings this in. I click Gunk Shot because it did the most damage. Then I bring Klefki in. He goes for Rock Tomb, which I was not expecting. I just wanted to sack Klefki, just because I wanted to sack it and get Metagross in and try to just go in and hopefully clean up with Cinderace. But I send this in. He spins, which is probably... I mean, it probably didn't matter too much, but I would have loved having Arcanine have a timer with Life Orb and Rocks to deal with, so he could only come in once. So I click Toxic on this because I'm banded. And I click Toxic again. I have no reason to click Toxic. I should just go Metagross. I should have went Metagross as soon as I saw Rock Tomb, honestly. Because I could still take an EQ. And if he didn't click EQ there, then most likely he just doesn't have it. Because it was so free to click it, because I have 3 mons at a week, that I probably should have realized he didn't have it. But I clicked Toxic twice for really no reason. I clicked Toxic a 3rd time, I get it on Heracross. But you know, I should have gotten Metagross in. You know, I played that badly. He just gets another sub up. So then I go for Pyro Ball, because, I mean, I think Cinderace just isn't really gonna be helpful. He's at 3% from Toxic, I get Metagross in. I click Zen Headbutt, he sacks Heracross, right thing to do, because getting in any of his other mons meant they all died, which would have been huge for me. But he gets this in, he flinches me, which you might think, oh, you know, unlucky. That didn't matter, not in the slightest. I'd still have to switch out if he brought Arcanine in, because Arcanine was definitely faster, it would have killed me. With either, you know, extreme speed from that. He had Ice Shard last slot on Donphan as well, so the fact it flinched here doesn't actually matter at all. I would have just gotten an extra kill, but this is playoffs, so differential doesn't matter. And yeah, he just clicks Dark Pulse again. I just bring Klefki. I click Toxic because I have no actual attacking moves. He brings an Arcanine, and he just, yeah, he clicks that. So, I mean, what can I really evaluate from that match? I definitely think I played Metagross wrong. I definitely should have checked if Arcanine got Play Rough, and then scouted for Play Rough. You know, turn 1, I probably shouldn't have clicked Ice Punch, but I think that was still okay as a play. I should have definitely predicted this Heracross turn 3. I think this was one of my biggest blunders, because I brought Switcheroo Klefki multiple times these past few weeks, and it was pretty obvious what I was doing. So I don't even think in general I should have brought Switcheroo Klefki. I think possibly my play this game would have been Screens Klefki, and I think it would have been really good if I had a similar 3 attacks Zapdos, but with Heat Wave over probably Air Cutter, and then I brought SD Beedrill, because realistically, the only thing on his team that can shut down SD Beedrill is Star Thunderous, which he brought again just for it. But I did counts. I think every single one on his team gets O-Code at +2 with Rocks Up, apart from Ferroseed, and sometimes Golisopod, because of Boots. But even then, you know, I think it would have definitely been a much more consistent play to bring Beedrill here. Because, like, I could have brought, you know, Screens with Spikes, you know, a couple layers of Spikes, and I would have been able to just win the game there and then. because he doesn't really have a defogger here. You know, his defogger is Thunderous, but if he wants to run Scarf, then Scarf defog is, you know, it's a Landorus job, that's not a Thunderous job. And otherwise his removal is just Donphan. So I definitely should have considered Hazard stacking here. I could have even brought in Toxic Spikes Beedrill, to be honest, because Beedrill definitely lured in Thunderous. So if I could get a layer of T-Spikes up, and then go to possibly AV Metagross, maybe like a Spadef Zapdos, something like that, it would have been really good. But, I mean, I think the build I made definitely wasn't bad. I think there's definitely glaring weaknesses to it. I think, obviously, Metagross, I think the entire build is very prediction reliant. I mean, I have triple choice items, like, that's a bit excessive, all things considered. I definitely really liked the Hydreigon set. I think the Metagross set, if I did it better, would have done a lot better. I think instead of Aerial Ace, I probably could have spared a slot for a different move, probably Earthquake, because I think Earthquake would have definitely helped with Amoonguss, obviously. But I think Aerial Ace is fine. It's a cool move, is the thing. Because Zen Headbutt kills this, but Aerial Ace kills him as a player. Even if they have the exact same base power because of Stab. But you know what, we're gonna ignore that. But yeah, apart from that, looking through these plays, I mean, this sack was probably fine. I mean, I thought I could definitely break Vaporeon otherwise. I didn't need Zapdos. Not knowing that he was play rough was huge. I definitely should have taken more time. I've sort of... yeah, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I should have known, and I should have scouted it. I should have just went Klefki. Because as soon as Umbreon wasn't here, Klefki was pretty much a free sack. Spreading Toxic wasn't going to help me in this match at all. Because he could be Heal Bell on Vaporeon, he could Wish anyway, it wasn't going to help. So yeah, that sack was super dumb. Just wasting my turns here with Ice Beam was super dumb. I should have just went Metagross just to offensively pressure it, because then if he wanted to Wish into either Heracross or Donphan or Thunderous, he'd have to think twice. Same thing later on when I have Klefki in, I should have went immediately into Metagross. I'm not sure why I didn't. I think I just thought in my head, you know, these what-if scenarios, like, what if sending in Metagross he predicts it? But those were really low chance scenarios from happening, and they didn't. And I mean, I think that was just my issue of that match. Just the fact that I was thinking of the worst case scenario always for plays, when I definitely could have just... I should have went Metagross more. This was definitely a mon that needed to hit the field a lot, and it didn't hit the field nearly enough. And, you know, apart from that, I mean, I think Magician, I wouldn't have not brought it. I think it's just so cool. But, you know, I think a Beedrill team would have probably helped me win that match a little better. But otherwise, I mean, Austin played very well there. He played very consistently. You know, he didn't really leave anything to chance. He forced me to click Draco on a Amoonguss, so my special attack would be down. You know, he was fast Arcanine, which, I wasn't fast, Hydreigon, which I should have been. If I knew this thing got play rough, I would have been 318 speed. But I just made it creep, Heracross. Which I realized I accidentally went 1 over. I'm not sure how. I think I was convinced it was 274 speed. But those EVs didn't matter. But yeah, I should have been faster on this. It definitely would have put in a huge amount of work. But otherwise, yeah, he played well. He had the right sets. You know, this was HP Grass as well for Crysire. He had, you know, no ground move, which was good. It worked well in this match. Amoonguss, I didn't get to see it, but it was a good set. Thunderous, you know, Scarf, I mean, he had to have it. Vaporeon over Umbreon, I mean, that works. He wanted a physical wall instead of a special, and that's fine, because, you know, he had Amoonguss for special walling, and Heracross just does so much work. So just every team, really. It forces so many predictions, and the fact he brought Sub was such a good bring. I'm just impressed. I'm very impressed with him as a player. And I'm sort of sad in myself as a player as well. I definitely think this is a good match of just looking at how I play and how I play bad. Because I played this match bad, he played it well. You know, there's nothing more than that. You know, I can go on about prep, you know, the hacks with the Dark Pulse flinch. None of that mattered, I don't think. I think I lost because I was playing worse than him, and that's all. I'm very glad that he's moving on. Because he is the better player, at least in that match. Yeah, GG Austin.